The following was recorded in front of a live studio audience at the Studio 21 Podcast Café.
Welcome to this episode of Pit Life BBQ. Gather round the pit with your hosts, Johnnie Mags and Greg the Barbecue Broker DiGiorgio. Let's talk barbecue.
What's up, everybody? Coming to you live from the Studio 21 Podcast Café in Salem, New Hampshire. It's the Pit Life BBQ podcast where we talk everything barbecue and a lot of other topics that you'd normally talk around a pit. As always, I'm joined by the barbecue highlighter. Broker.
What?
You look like a highlighter.
You look at, I couldn't think of a better way to ring in the spring than with the famous yellow V-neck that everyone fucking hates on the show. So here it is, everybody. I'm back. It's back.
It's a great idea.
Chrissy, we're going to get the brass tacks, on the yellow V-necks. What do you think about that? What's up, buddy?
Nothing. Facebook is screwing me.
Why? Oh, because it says review.
It's this whole new thing. I can't share this damn thing to my own page.
I've been my first time on Facebook.
Oh, no, they just
shut
changed
up.
it all. I had to set up a two-part authenticator now.
Whatever.
It's
I'll figure it out. I'll figure it
Yeah.
out.
Finally, cybersecurity is of importance, apparently.
It's
share it
Facebook.
later.
Come on.
Daddy Dutch, what's up? Claudia, Efren, Gray, Juke, Chris.
Ben Ross, my man. Chris Rosinski.
So, where the hell have you been? I've been calling you since Wednesday.
Are you mad? Are you angry?
I feel
Sweetheart?
unloved.
Are you angry, sweetheart? I've had an extremely busy work week and busy work weekend and family weekend, and I meant to call you back 60 times and then forgot 61 times. So I called you this morning, though.
Yeah.
Did I not?
I know. And that's why I left my phone at the office.
You left your phone at the office. Pro move.
Promo. Ben Ross, what's up, brother?
Ben's pit's almost done. That thing called the Showstopper.
Nice.
Spelled stopper.
Stopper. Oh, he's official.
Ben Ross.
He's official.
Soaking in some of that New England.
Yeah, attaboy.
Losing some of that Texas. Is that happening, Ben? Texas can't lose you officially. Come on.
Nah, you can take the boy out of Texas. Can't take the Texas
Texas out of the boy. And he's the big boy.
Jeff, what's happening? All right, what do you say? You want to do a show?
Why not?
Why not? Today's show brought to you by...
Always brought to you by Uncle Steve's Shake. If you're wondering why no one's coming to your barbecues, but they're going to your neighbors, because your neighbors use an Uncle Steve's Shake, and apparently you're not. Which means one thing, Chrissy.
You better get you some.
Damn straight, Uncle Steve's Shake, it's handmade. It uses only the finest ingredients and comes, 12 amazing flavors?
12 amazing flavors.
If you can eat it, Uncle Steve has a shake for it. If you have any shake questions, Uncle Steve has fantastic customer service. They'll walk you through all your shake needs. It's time to take that barbecue and competition game to that next level. Uncle Steve's Shake. Shake some on everything. Also brought to you by...
Two Guys Smoke Shop and TwoGuysCigars.com. Whether we're barbecuing or not, we always keep the smoke rolling thanks to our friends at TwoGuysCigars.com. Today we are smoking the Big Poppy Firecracker. Damn, this is good. Damn.
Brand new release.
To celebrate the Hall of Fame induction, I think maybe something to do.
Maybe.
Well, I'm going with it anyway. Thanks to our friends at TwoGuysCigars.com. We get to smoke some of the best cigars in the world, and so can you. Just visit TwoGuysCigars.com for your perfect barbecue companion.
Yep.
That's the number 2GuysCigars.com. And also brought to you by...
Backline Fabrication and Backline Smokers in Austin, Texas. Ryan Newland is pumping out some of the finest one-off custom pits, live fire devices you've ever seen your eyes on. This guy puts love. When I say love, he gets to know what makes you tick. He incorporates these into his builds, and no two pit looks the same. The possibilities are absolutely endless. You got to check out my man, Ryan Newland. BacklineFabrication.com. Backline Smokers out of Austin, Texas. Also brought to you by
Magna Chef Gloves. guys and girls, in my opinion, these are the best barbecue gloves on the market today. Our brother Alan Fonte knows a little something about fire management, seeing he's a Miami-Dade firefighter. Designed these from scratch, didn't cut any corners, thought of everything. These gloves are 100% food-grade silicone. The patented magnetic clips for easy on and off.
Even your meat hooks.
Even
come out of
these
those.
meat hooks.
Yep.
Get right back in. You can hang them up. Not going to lose them. Just click in, twist, and away you go. Easy on and off. Heat rated up to 500 degrees. Web fit for a firm grip. One size fits all. Dishwasher safe. And more importantly, made right here in the USA.
Damn straight.
Get your sums at magnachef.com. That's MAGNECHEF.com. Order yourself a pair or two or three, one for the barbecue trailer, one for the garage, one for the kitchen. You know, you can never have enough. So visit that. And at checkout, use code ROYAL21 for 15% off.
Yes, sir.
So visit magnachef.com, master the fire. And also brought to you by Custom Cutting Boards R Us.com. Our brother Ian Hemming out of Magnolia, Texas, is producing some of the best cutting boards on the market today. These boards absolutely take a beating. I've been rolling with mine almost 4 years now, and they still look and handle fantastic.
As long as you don't let me use them.
As long as I don't let him use them. Cutting a brisket with a chainsaw. 100% dishwasher safe, high condensed UV protection, comfort sliding protection nubs on the bottom so the board stays in place. You're not going to have it slip. Multi-colors available. Deep reservoir lip to hold those juices.
What did I call it last week? The deep juice canal?
Deep juice canal, yeah.
Love it.
Got to put a little twist on that one.
It's amazing.
So much for the family-friendly aspect of it. But yeah, check them out at Custom Cutting Boards R Us. The massive brisket boards.
It's the best.
18 by 36. The dishwasher board, which is your standard countertop size.
Yep.
And the pizza board. And he's got a couple other things in research and development right now.
Good stuff.
Go check them out. They're well worth it. That is customcuttingboardsrus.com. That's the letter R, us.com.
Yep. What's up, Marty V? Big Salinas.
Brother Andy, what's happening?
What's up, boys?
Linda, what's up? What is the largest audience? All right, I'll get there. Let me
Kent,
introduce
relax,
him,
Dutch.
Come on, man.
Jesus.
I need to introduce the man first before I can ask him that
Always
question.
coming at us with the bullhorns, Dutch.
Speaking of bullhorns, that's a great segue.
You like that segue?
That's right.
Let's get into what we call the
Brass tacks, you highlighted looking whatever you are. All right, guys. Exciting show coming to you right now. Joining us live from Houston, Texas.
Woo! Let's go.
The owner of Bullhorn BBQ. Host of the So Smokin Gooder Show. The one and only Mr. Rob Arocha. What's up, brother?
What's up, Rob?
What is up, guys?
Hell
I'm
yeah.
actually coming to you from the Bullhorn BBQ headquarters in Cypress, Texas.
Cypress, Texas.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, that's how I tag our show when we start. Man, but look at y'all set up, man. I'm getting jealous over here.
I trade this setup for some of that hardware you got behind you.
Especially that little black banner behind you.
But let me see this. Somebody make sure my volumes aren't up. Yeah, no, that's a nice setup. But I got to give it. Who is putting all this information on the show or the show? Whoever the attendee is, because that's nice too. Is that you guys?
Of
What do you mean?
About the bio and all that down there?
That's Chrissy.
That's
man. That's a
hi.
producer.
That's our producer. We got a producer. Rob.
Look at you guys. Y'all are big time in me.
We try. We try.
Hey, you know,
That's what
we
do.
put
I like the way they're both looking at me like, what did she do?
We
She does everything.
I just did my job. It's fine.
we got a lot of smoke and mirrors in this place.
We just
I
come
just
in
found
and sit
out
down
some
and leave.
stuff about myself in her little bio. That's
There you
nice.
That's
Good
awesome.
job, Chrissy.
Good job, Chris.
So, Rob, man, thank you so much for taking some time to join us, brother.
Hell yeah.
This is going to be awesome.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me, man. This is great. Normally I'm on the other side, so this is fun to be on this side of it. So.
Absolutely.
So we'll start it off how we always do with the hottest hidden question of the day. So we'll get that over with.
It always seems to be the tough one right here.
Who is Rob Arocha, and how did your barbecue journey begin?
All right, guys. Rob Arocha out of Cypress, Texas. Look at this, getting a call. Out of Cypress, Texas. Barbecue journey started in 2012. Actually, a little before that, I was a guy that was part of a mega team that did one contest a year, and we had 10 spaces. That meant we had 10 entries. It was a huge party. It was just basically a party. But yeah, they didn't on that 10 entries. So we had 10 chickens, 10 ribs, 10 briskets. They didn't let me touch any of the meats at this time. All I had was a stupid little side seafood category, which I rocked, by the way. But they never let me have any of the meats. And this went on for about 3 or 4 years. And about that time, BBQ Pit Masters came out. It was about 2012. And I reached over to my buddy, Tad. He was also on the team. I said, this is what I want to do, man. Let's just get a pop-up and pit, and let's go and cook some barbecue. And so that's how it started, Bullhorn Barbecue. We started actually Bullhorn name. We're a big tailgate group out here following the Houston Texans. So that thing started when the Texans started in 2002. Bullhorn Tailgaters was a thing. And so it was kind of a natural evolution to go to Bullhorn Barbecue. And so that's how Bullhorn Barbecue started, 2012. I really didn't take this thing too seriously up until probably about 2017, 2018. It was more of a party thing for ourselves. We like to have Club Bullhorn, but that's where it started, and that's where we're at. So yeah. And what was the second part of that question there, Johnny?
Well,
That was it. How you got into the start?
So what
Yeah,
was
there you go.
So when you started back then, because you cater too, right? So were you catering back then? Was that what when you said pop up? Were you just get like a pop up tent and doing competitions, or were you also selling food too?
The catering thing kind of evolved from learning more about the barbecue side of things, and so yeah, that thing is actually that kind of ship has sailed as well. I'm just a straight competitor as far as don't do too many. And if I have some friends that maybe need something, then I'll help them out. But yeah, the catering thing is, I know it's a lot of work, as you know there, Greg, but yeah, that's kind of took too much of my time. So
I got a split cook coming up this weekend for 100 people, which isn't a lot
right
these days, but it's decent amount. But I got to cook the brisket, and then I got and on basically Saturday into Sunday night, go home or Saturday night, and then come up. Stuck my second cook, the ribs and the chicken, so I can feed everyone on because I only get a 500, so I can't do everything at once. So I got to get a split cook, and I got to get some sleep.
Yeah.
So I cook
a lot of pressure. You got to perform too, right? It's somebody's big event. It's really special to them, or it's a wedding, or even those are even
Cooking
more stressful. So
12 briskets that have to come out, pretty damn good, and you try and nail it all. Yeah, it's gonna be a little stressful. But what comp were you in that they had 10 different chicken entries back then? Like was that sanctioned, or was it like just like a fun thing you were doing?
It's still around. It's called the Texas Association of First Responders. In fact, it's going to be coming up here next month. No, it's not 10 entry. We had 10 spaces, so each space garnered an entry. So
got it.
We had this huge block.
Oh, that's cool.
Party
Yeah.
And it was a lot of fun. Don't get me wrong. I do miss a little bit of that, but yeah, that's how I got started into the barbecue thing, and then just from the fact that I didn't get to touch any of the big meats, and so that's where I wanted to evolve from. So that's how it happened.
You like touching big meats? It was just I was like it was like shoe in right there. I had to.
As soon as that came out of my mouth, I wanted it back. I was like, no,
John,
no,
you like
don't
touching big meats too?
I touched a lot of big meats this weekend. I hit the I hit the pork butt jackpot.
You did hit the pork butt jackpot. It was like 89 cents a pound.
89 cents a pound, Rob.
Wow.
Damn.
89 cents, no limit.
Practically giving pork butts away.
That's it.
I didn't know that still existed.
Boston butts, giving away Boston butts.
Yep. So
Why
Boston
they
giving away
call
butts.
them Boston butts? Aren't y'all from Boston?
yeah.
Yeah, but they do. I don't know. Because I think that's where the way
Well,
they
originally,
process them.
no, the Boston butt name
Yeah.
actually came from colonial times.
Yeah.
And so it was Boston butt.
Explain it,
And
please.
high on the hog.
Oh.
Came from Boston.
Okay.
But when they would, at the butcher would process the hog,
He cut the picnic
it was
off.
always the biggest, the best pieces.
Yeah.
Obviously got sold. So you're eating high on the hog.
Okay.
So all the loins, the tenderloins, all that. But when they would take what is known as the butt portion, they would just put them in this wooden barrel. They'd store them in these barrels, and the barrels were called butts. So Boston butt.
This is a true story. You just make
True
this up.
story. Look it up. Google me.
I'm gonna Google the shit out of this when I leave here.
Google it. That's a fact.
I
stated-
thought it was because they separated the picnic and the top pile and it's left with what looked like a butt cheek.
No, the vessel they held them in was called
Chrissy's
a
dying
butt.
over there. She's like, no, Greg, stop.
I think Johnny just stayed at a Holiday Inn Express last night, and that's how he knows all this stuff.
Hey, you know, I'm a geek.
I love it. I love it. But either way, yeah. That's one thing we can say that we did for barbecue is we named the butt,
Use that. Use that. That'll win you a couple beers at a contest.
right?
Absolutely.
That's awesome.
So, speaking of contests,
Yeah, let's go.
How long have you been competing?
Since 2012.
Since
But
12.
like I said, back then I would do once every 3 months. And then, so I wasn't, I was just learning the stuff. But like I said, I started taking this thing serious. I've been doing it since then. But, and I'd get lucky in there. I had a couple of grands back in the day. But I really didn't start taking it serious about 2017. Really, to be being honest, really the last 2-3 years is when I really started honing in on what I wanted to do and taking it very seriously. And you guys know the more consistent you are doing these things, the better you're going to be. Your processes become more streamlined. It becomes a little more easier, or at least the process flows a lot easier. So that's kind of where it is. And when you're doing them consistently, you can really fine tune in on what you're trying to go after. If you're doing them once every 3 weeks or once every month or every other month, then you're kind of starting over each contest. So,
We're doing it once a year right now, basically. And every time, it's like if we just keep doing it once a year. Well, we got the smaller ones, but we did one KCBS last year. It was our first KCBS.
Yeah.
And then we're doing that same one this year, but we haven't done a KCBS since then. But shit, man, we were trimming out. We were prepping chicken on site. I mean, we didn't know. Everyone's showing up with everything. The brisket's trimmed and the chicken. They're like, "Wait, you didn't do your chickens yet?" We're like, "What? You could do that? We could do that?" Like we didn't know, And people were doing their butts and stuff, and ribs on site or whatever, but not
chicken,
not
man.
chicken, and not usually briskets trimmed before they come too.
No.
Yeah, that thing takes way too long.
Yeah. So
Pain in the ass.
Plus, you got to do it in the elements. We had freaking pine needles falling from the pine trees.
Oh,
So I'm
man.
like, what the hell? Shit.
So, so you compete on your own as Bullhorn, but you also jump in with. I've seen you jump in with a lot. Like a couple weeks ago, you would Phil Breeden.
Yep.
So do you help your buddies out or whoever might need a helping hand?
Yeah, it doesn't happen too often, but Phil, he reached out to me and he was headed to Yuma, Arizona, and I was actually at a baseball practice with my son, and he's like, "Hey, you want to head over to Yuma with me?" And I'm like, "Arizona?" And he's like, "Yeah." I was like, in my mind, I'm thinking, "There's no way. I've got work, I've got kids, I've got a wife, And so things just fell into place to where my wife said, "Yeah, if you wing it," and I was like, "Well, let me get with work," and I was like, "Yeah, take off." I'm like. Okay, then I had no excuse. So I called Phil and said, I'm in. And that doesn't happen too often, but I'm glad that did. That was a fun trip. And Phil's a good buddy of mine. And, Phil and Bill and Lee, I know you had Lee on. Those guys travel.
Oh, yeah.
You know,
Lee Hickel.
I'm
Yep,
just now kind of spreading my wings outside of Houston within the last couple of years to where here in Houston area, you can find a cook-off every weekend. So
awesome.
there was really no need for me to go outside of that area other than to give myself a new challenge because a lot of these cooks in Texas, Central Texas, especially down in the valley, down towards, Mexico, those guys are some strong cooks. And so it's fun to go out there and it's fun to compete against the guys, but when you spread your wings a little bit and go outside of your comfort zone, it just makes you a better cook. And so getting to compete against those guys has helped for sure. But traveling is a new thing. But when Phil asked me to do that, that was a lot of fun. And I jumped at the chance.
Yeah, that was pretty cool because you had gone live and here we are in Arizona, and look over there, over that street light. That's Mexico.
That's right. Mexico was there, and right to the right of me was California. We were right there.
Wow. Right on the corner.
Wow.
Yeah. Wild.
That is really cool.
Cool.
So what are some of the sanctioning bodies, do you cook under? Like IBCA, KCBS, or
World
do you
Food.
kind of stick with one or two? Because I know there's a bunch of them now.
I guess I would cook 3 if I've cooked more, but generally IBCA is real big here in Texas. CBA is now a thing, and they're coming on strong. They're also in Texas. I've been kind of focusing on CBA right now. I am on the board with Champions Barbecue Alliance, so it's near and dear to my heart. We want to grow that here in Texas and outside of Texas. But the other sanctioning body, I guess, would be KCBS. I've done a few of those. And those are a lot of fun, a lot of new challenge. So each one presents a different challenge. Each one has different timelines, and each one, makes you think a little differently on how you're going to approach things. So those are the 3 main ones. And then there's Lone Stars in this area. BCA is in Louisiana. So there's a lot of different sanctioning bodies. And now I think there's a new one called Outlaw Barbecue that started up in North Texas. So.
Wow.
Yeah.
Any of that stuff here.
It's wild.
We have to travel so far, except for, to get like a KCBS or that's really the closest thing we would get around here would be KCBS besides, NEBS, New England Barbecue Society puts on theirs. And some of them are qualifiers but they usually are KCBS ones that they put on that are qualifiers for other stuff. But they're actually putting on, NEBS is putting one on in Rhode Island in less than a month. That's a world food qualifier. So, but that's it. That's all we really got. We don't have all these other ones. So
y'all have barbecue seasons up there, right? To where, is it just kind of starting the season for barbecue up there?
Well, I don't know what you're talking about, Rob.
Yeah. Well, what are you talking about? Come on now.
I don't know what's the season thing that you speak of.
It's a myth. I mean, down here we don't have season. We're all year round, every weekend. But
that's kind of look at.
Technically, we cook all year.
It's just a little colder than you guys, but we still. We still cowboy up, Rob, and we freaking
respect the hustle.
We cook in the winter.
But
not the season.
Yeah. To answer that, it's the weather's starting to change. So everyone's starting to break out the smokers and the grills. So the barbecue season usually
we have
favorites.
We have favorite seasons. We don't.
The barbecue season would normally run about. Actually, this is actually early
for most New Englanders that just grill.
Be April to November.
Yeah. And it starts to get really cold in December, and then the snow rolls in. So what people don't realize though is that the fall and the spring are fantastic months or seasons.
I bet.
To barbecuing because it's light out longer. It's cool. It's not overly hot. Man, cooking for big jobs in July and August is awful. I don't enjoy it.
It gets hot. Y'all get some heat up there too.
It's hot. It's humid, and I'm behind the fire of my 500 gallon, so it's hot. I pray for fall to come last summer. And I'd rather cook in the fall. I'd rather be in a sweatshirt than be sweating behind the thing. But so,
Greg, I'll re-invite you back down here to Texas to come cook in August. I don't even cook in August. That thing is just miserable. Screw that.
It's awful, dude. I no. So what did you when you cooked for 2 questions here I have.
Yep.
When you cooked for, what are you cooking on now for, smokers for your at your comps? And what did you cook on mostly when you were catering?
So I'll start with the catering
Sure.
jobs, and I still up until January 2020, I was using this every contest. But I have a pit maker sniper, which I love. Pit makers,
I know
world-renowned pit maker. Yeah, y'all know
I
them.
actually learned exactly who they were at my trip down to Texas. Was it?
That's right. They were
was
right
it one
behind
of
you,
the?
I believe, right?
Was it
Or
a
something like
cabinet?
that?
Was it one of the cabinet ones?
No, actually, the sniper is the offset.
Okay.
It's I've got a long rifle, what they call the long rifle model. It's on a trailer. It's gorgeous. It's kind of like a show pit. It's on a trailer. It's beautiful.
Is that like
Had it
the?
wrapped.
Is that the off-road trailer, the one with the big tires? That one? Was that?
I guess so. They're 15-inch tires. It's not like a moon buggy. I know they call one called the moon buggy, but this one's on a offset. It's on a trailer. It's got storage and tables on the side, so it's great for that, for for cooking a bunch of for a bunch of people. This is a great smoker. It's a great competition smoker as well. I did well with that, but it's big, right? So it's big, and I've learned that it's easier to go to a lot of these contests, and like I talked about earlier, spread my wings and travel a little bit. It's easier whenever you can kind of have them all in the trailer and just kind of wheel them out. So up until June, so in January 2020, my buddy Joey Machado introduced me to the Gateway drum smoker. So I've got a couple of Gateways and an Endicott drum. It's a gentleman out of Kansas that's starting to make some drums. But I always and I got my trusty Rectex, man. I'm a big proponent for Rectex grills.
The pellets, pellets for comps.
Yeah, so it touches every part of my competition meets. It's a big deal now. Those things have come in. Well, they've been around forever. Actually, in 2012 when I was starting, they were around. But here lately, within about probably 5-6 years ago, they've really come on strong. I don't know if you guys are seeing them in y'all's neck of the woods for competitions, but
not for competitions.
A lot of teams down here have at least have something in their arsenal that has a pellet, just because the consistency of what they provide is something you don't have to worry about. So all my meets start in the drums and they finish on the Rectex. So yep.
Get that flavor in there, that charcoal in there, that real wood. Then you just right over to the easy bake oven for the finish.
So finishing, and then also all my salt, my glazes and stuff are all set on the Rectex Bull is what I've got.
Wow.
Yeah, and it's a great cooker, man. It's an awesome cooker. If you guys don't have one of those,
our buddy Chris,
arsenal.
our buddy Crawdaddy Chris has the Bull.
Yeah,
he loves it.
A great,
he
great
cooks
smoker.
on it more.
You guys ever felt that compared to another pellet smoker? You can definitely feel the composite. It's just a well made.
Anyone using the new Weber pellet, the smoke fire or something like that?
I haven't seen those yet. I see a lot of
fire comes out
and I see a lot of Traegers out on the scene. There's a Rectex makes a bullseye, which is kind of like a Weber.
Yes.
The Weber kettle. That thing is awesome. That thing gets hot. So if you guys are running behind the clock and you need to heat something up pretty quick, fire up that bullseye and it'll get her done.
Yeah, so Randy from Big Salinas Barbecue asked, "What's your favorite cook-off beside the Royal?"
It's there's one here in this area. It's the Danny Dietz Memorial Classic. That one is near and dear to my heart. It's down in they used to have it in Rosenberg. It is in where's it at now? I didn't cook it last year because it conflicted with another event, but they are in I'm not sure. I think they're going to go back to Rosenberg. But anyway, it's commemorates Danny Dietz and SEAL Team Operation Red Wings that they based the movie off of Lone Survivor on. They was part of the group that went in and they got ambushed, and Marcus Luttrell was the lone survivor, but Danny Dietz was also in that crew. And so we have a contest every year, and all the SEAL Team wives come, and it's just a really cool event. It's near and dear to my heart. I will do it every year that I can, but it's also my Achilles cook-off. I have yet to walk there. It's like I've walked in so many of the big events, but I can't seem to figure that one out. But I still love it. Instead, I mention it right now. But there's a few, man. I love, there's ones here in Houston, Tomball VFW that I attend every year. Those are fun. There's just there's so many of them, and each one of them has their own different kind of deal. Like we're going to do one next week in Alvin, which has this big music festival. So there's each one provides its own challenges, but its own bit of fun too. So in its own experience. And Houston Livestock Show and Rodeo is awesome, as you know, Greg. That's a great one too.
It's amazing. Hey, shout out to our sponsors that are in the chat. Uncle Steve, Ryan Newland from Backline. What's up, guys?
Oh, I got to meet Ryan at San Antonio Rodeo Cook-Off. That's another awesome one.
Yep. That's another
so
big
many
one.
of them, man.
Ryan says, "Get it, Rob."
Yep.
Shmidi says, "No beer shotguns today."
What's up, Ryan? No, not today.
No, not today.
Not today, Shmidi.
It was an extra special one last week. I had to bring out the beers for
Had
that
to bring
one.
the beers out for our dudes.
Big
well, you have to because you get called out. So
That's right.
You got to drink.
So we'll spin off that into the Royal. Now, do you compete at the Royal, but do you compete in the Open in the Invitational or just on that category that you have been specializing in?
No, we also compete.
Okay.
This year we'll be doing both the Invitational and the Open. The last couple of years I've only done the Open, so it has allowed us to really focus on that party of the year. I know that's what you're getting
That's
at.
what I'm getting at.
So we definitely compete. Had a couple walks this past year, so it's definitely something that we go to we go out there to win it, and the party of the year deal is a lot of fun too. So
Yeah. So how did you get into cooking the party of the year? Because I'm going to assume it grows every year.
yeah, it does.
You
So
know?
2017 was our first year to do the American Royal. And my day job, which I'm, if anybody's watching from my work, I am on my lunch hour. My day job, I work for a crane company called Tadano America, and they're real supportive of this venture with barbecue that I've done. And they got wind that we were going up to Kansas City for the first time in 2017 to do the American Royal. And they reached out to, we have dealers throughout the country, and one of our dealers in Kansas City is called Blue Hat Crane. And so we reached out to them, and they were trying to get into the American Royal forever. They just didn't have a cooker. And so they wanted somebody to go out and cook, and they wanted to throw this party. And so it worked out. It was like a win-win. And so
That's badass.
it's been a great partnership with Blue Hat Crane and Tadano and Bullhorn. So they've supported us since the year one, since 2017, 18, 19. Of course, we didn't have it in 20. And then last year in 21, that we've done this party for Blue Hat Crane. Yeah, we're going up there to compete and do well and win a barbecue contest. But this is very important to them. And if it's very important to them, it's very important to me. So
Yeah.
they host a party. We cook it. We provide all the food and the meat for the party. But really, they're a big part in providing this party atmosphere. They provide the DJ, the bar, the tents, the space. They've got y'all. I know you posted a picture the other day. They got hay bales are real big up there, and it's just a big fun atmosphere. And
Yeah.
of course, they invite all their guests and clients and all that. And so it's
Yeah.
just,
And if you're watching right now, Chrissy, you can hit that picture of the one at night of the party area with the tents and all. That's no small feat right there.
no, it's
How many
really cool.
people are you dealing with at that point?
We're going through about 600 guests that show up and go in through there and come out of there. Yeah, it's a
Wow.
big deal.
So this is so Blue Hat. So they're basically your corporate sponsor. So that's kind of similar to Houston, where there's corporate sponsors type of thing.
Well, there's two levels, and this is kind of touchy subject with some people.
Uh-oh.
But we
Don't worry, no one's watching.
We compete as an individual team because when y'all go there, if you haven't been, but when you go there, you will definitely tell the difference between a corporate tent. They've got huge setups with just huge displays. They've got live bands. You can definitely tell the corporate teams that are out there versus this. And it looks big, but it's relatively small compared to these corporate deals. So that is an individual party of the year event. And so, but yeah, there's a lot of people that come through there, and a lot of people have a lot of good fun in there, and it's a competition. I mean, there's a lot of teams that compete for Party of the Year. And like I said earlier, if it's important to to Blue Hat Crane, and then it's important to us. And we definitely make sure that we got, everything lined up, because they tell you when you show up for Party of the Year, they're going to give you a window of when judges will show up. And you got about 6 to 10 judges that'll come, and they want to be entertained. They want to see the atmosphere. They want to see the environment. They want to see everybody having a good time. And they also want to be entertained. When they come in, we give them I'm going to give our secrets here, but we give them a table right up front. We bring out food directly to them. We provide a special drink in their honor. We make hoot and holler, and everybody has a good old time. And by the time that they eat and do it, they're dancing. And it's back to back Party Team of the Year. That's one of the trophies you get. The Knob Creek Jack Daniels, I think, is part of it too. So it's
is there a stripper pole? I'm just asking. I'm asking for a friend. Just asking for a friend.
There are poles that support our tents that have been used as stripper poles. Yes.
Yes.
So to answer your question, yes.
And if they happen to fall, well, we're trapped under the tent with strippers. Oh, well. I've had worse days.
So 3 years in a row of taking that. That's got to be wild.
Johnny, I claim 4 because there was no COVID year. So, hey, that's mine too.
Technically, I'll give it to you. You were defending champ going into that.
That's right.
Due to circumstances beyond your control, you were still defending champ. All right, I'll give you 4.
I see Kent's in the comments. He was there. He could tell you. He had a good time too. It's a lot of fun.
Definitely a good party.
I know it's a party award at a meat contest, but hey, if I'm going to compete in it, just like an ancillary or a beans or a green bean or whatever it is,
doing it right,
try to win it.
That's it. It's an ancillary category party.
And what's cool about that award is you get to walk the stage all by yourself. They call that out first, and it's the way to kick off the weekend for us. And so we take a lot of pride in that, and
amazing.
we love doing it for Blue Hat, and they love being a part of it as well.
Awesome. So that brings us to the next thing of our little connection here. Other than barbecue, we're connected on the barbecue end, but we're also connected on the show end.
Absolutely.
So tell us about the So Smokin Gooder Show.
Man, this is a baby of mine and my show partner, Kayson. We started this thing in 2017. Like I mentioned, it's kind of like when I started really taking barbecue a little more seriously. I got to give a shout out to Greg Rempe. He was the one that was doing that show back in the day. I know he's still doing it, but he was the only one doing a live barbecue show that I can recall back then. And so I reached out to my buddy Case and I said, man, this is something that I want to do. I want to focus on Texas barbecue because he was up north. There was nobody down here doing it. So I wanted to focus on Texas barbecue and some of the guys that we cook with and against and throughout the state, because, man, you guys know Texas provides a lot of great cooks and that people need to hear their stories. So that was the goal for the So Smokin Gooder Show, and it's still the goal. That was starting out, and it's still that right now, and we just continue to grow and grow. We love it. We love doing it. We started that. Our first show was July 7th, 2017. So I remember I promoted it, and it said 7/7/17. And so we've been doing it since, and actually this year is so far our best year, man. We're having a good time doing that thing. And it's good to see other shows like yourself, and there's a lot of them now that are out there. And I think it's fun to, I'm glad you reached out to me. And like I mentioned, I want to do a straight podcast show with some other groups and come on our show and let's talk shop, basically.
Yep.
Heck yeah. So
absolutely.
That leads us into Daddy Dutch's question. What's the largest audience you've ever had for the show?
As you guys know, it's hard to build a live audience, right? And people are doing other things. And right now, y'all's time slot is early too. So our largest has been over 300. We had like 325 people watching on a random Wednesday night not too long ago, man. It was it's just something that's continued to grow, and you guys know it well. You guys are very consistent on the time that you do your show. That's something that we learned. You know, Case and I would, you know, if he wasn't available or I wasn't available, we just wouldn't do a show. Now this past year, last weekend was the first one that I missed, and that's because I was on vacation with my family. But I had missed a show since November of last year. So we've been very consistent on doing these shows, and our crowd and our live viewership continues to grow and grow and grow.
Yeah.
And I think the show's better for it. We you know, it's something that we take a lot of pride in. You know, as you guys know, it's you got to have your notes, and you got your guests, and you're lining up guest line, you know, week after week. And it's a lot of work. It's a lot of fun. It's pretty rewarding for me though.
Yep. Oh, it's work. We love it.
It is.
Here, I'll give you a little hint on the whole guest things. Get in with a publishing company.
Okay.
I booked the entire month of May with one email the other day. Because
Nice.
there was they happened to have four
new books coming out.
4 new barbecue books coming out.
Beautiful.
So it just all lined up, and
Yeah, they want to promote, right?
yeah,
That's awesome.
and you know it's you know some of like our friend Bill Gillespie from Smokin' Hogs, you know he's got 5 books I believe, you know, and our friend Ray Sheehan that we're having on next week is actually how I got involved with the publishing company. You know, and then they'll reach out to us. Hey, we got this coming out, and this cook, and this one.
Yep.
Okay, bring it on, bring it
Let's
on.
go.
We'll get the word out. Absolutely.
Let's go.
You know, but have you, what was the hardest guest you've ever put like the most effort into getting, then finally
Finally
popped?
bang, yeah.
Just recently, and it's funny that you say that because I was going to tell that story. I was real proud of myself because I had reached out to this guest, and it took me a while to get a hold of him, and finally he replied back, and he said, "Yeah, get with this person." I said, "Okay, fine, I'll do it." And it was not too long before, or right after that, I had arranged and I had booked, and I was all proud of myself that we had this done. And then Daddy Dutch, I was doing just a random live deal. And
I
he's
know
like,
where
"Yeah,
this
man,
is going.
because you need to check out these guys over here." And he was talking about you guys. And so I'm like, all right, yeah. When do they come on? And he goes, well, they come on during the week, and it's at 4:00. And I was like, okay, well, let me check them out. And sure as shit, y'all had my guest on this. And it was Cosmo, Darian Cosmo, man. It took a little while to get him on and booked and
Same here,
ready,
dude.
And
we were trying for a while.
so I
too.
was all proud of myself, and then I saw y'all with him on there. I was like, man, look at this guy. And but I loved it, man. You guys, y'all killed it with his interview, and
awesome.
He was awesome, man.
He's a fun guest.
Yeah.
Just a great guest, and man, I'm so glad that I was only supposed to have him for an hour. He wound up doing 2 hours with us, man. We had such a good time.
Oh, and I was there that whole 2 hours with you.
Yeah.
It was incredible.
We could have easily went 2 hours with him.
Oh,
we had to cut it short. We're like, so great having you, but we got to go. The studio's closing. Time to go.
Well, yeah, like I said, I've been trying to. I kept reaching out for years. You know, always. You know, which I'll reach out to people and just get ghosted.
Yeah.
No, no response back but always every time I reached out to Darian, you know, someone always got back to me, or Darian's going to be out of town for the next month, or he's not doing interviews at the time, got different things going on. And then, you know, it was like about every 3 months I'd send an email and then get a response, and that's fine. You know, just remember me.
Yeah. You were in his ear, man. That's
then
awesome.
I forgot, right?
For months.
And I got into work one morning, and I'm sitting there having my coffee out in the parking lot, and I'm checking the emails for the show, and lo and behold, there's the email. Well, Darian wants to come on the show. what do you got for availability? I'm like, hold
on,
this
let's
actually
check.
happening right here? I couldn't believe it. It finally happened. But yeah, it's funny.
Like-
Darian was the toughest one.
You're like, I think we have an opening next week.
Whenever you want, I go, I'll move
Pretty
stuff
much.
around.
Oh shit!
But yeah, that was great.
It was such a great guest. Yeah, no, that was the guy that I was after, and we got him. So, and you got him too. So it's awesome.
Oh hell yeah! There's definitely the list. There's definitely
We had a
the
good list
of
last
people.
year. We had
Oh yeah.
Matt Pittman came on from Meat Church. We had Diva Q on. Danielle.
Yeah, we've had her on.
She's
I
awesome.
haven't had Matt on. I definitely want to get him.
Matt's
on.
a good dude.
Similar story. He started out as a tailgate team. And,
Yeah.
And he got on Barbecue Pit Masters, and that helped him.
That
big
was
time.
huge. I think that show really was a catalyst for a bunch of us because
was.
I started my barbecue journey in 2010. I started out of the backyard, and then but I was like kind of like I'd cook 1 week, I wouldn't cook for several weeks. I'd cook again. I'll throw it. I wasn't doing beef. I was just like pork, butts and ribs and pork loins, but that show came out, and that was it. That was like just got me all.
It's cool, right?
Got me all jazzed up,
It put that world in people's faces, and
Yeah.
man, that looks like fun and challenge. And a lot of us, for me speaking, had something that drove us earlier. I don't look like it, but I was a pretty competitive. I was a big competitive softball player and played tournaments and weekends and did all that. And so when I got older, you still have that drive to do something, and barbecue kind of filled that void for me as far as having some competitiveness as well. So that's definitely barbecue is a lot of fun for us. It's challenging. There's so many great cooks out there. So you could be on top of the world 1 week, and the next week you're back at the bottom of the barrel. So it's a lot of fun. It's frustrating and challenging and rewarding and all of it. And I love it.
Yep. And then especially the people you meet.
Absolutely. The people are
from
great.
all over the world.
Mike C was
People
on.
are
He said,
great.
I think Mike C was on. Mike C was a guest on your show.
No.
On here. Oh, of course. Yeah. Mike was on. Big Rome was on. Oh, that's for us. I thought you were talking about. I thought they were on your show too. No, that's awesome, dude. That's like. It just brings us all together at the end of the day. You know
So,
what I mean?
Rob, we're up against it time-wise,
Yep.
but where can everybody find your social media? The show page, on the platforms, the days, times, all that good stuff.
So I compete under the name Bullhorn BBQ, so you can find us on all socials under Bullhorn BBQ. We're on Instagram, we're on Facebook. But the show is really taking off and it's growing. So I'm really kind of focused on those socials, and that is So Smokin Gooder Show. And it's in, Chrissy did a great job. It's in the link below on your show here. But yeah, So Smokin Gooder Show. You can find us on Facebook, on YouTube, on the TikTok. We're starting to promote on Twitch too. And of course we're on everywhere, basically, Spotify, our show. But yeah, tune in on Wednesdays, 8:00 is when we do our show on our Facebook page and our YouTube channel. Is where you can find the show. So this week it's going to be just me and Case. We got lots to catch up on. We've had Houston. I just went and instructed at Rec Tech Academy.
That's fun.
We had Smoking on the Rio, a lot of big events, San Antonio Rodeo that we just really haven't touched too much on. So we're gonna hit on those events. And I know you guys are out of market for Texas, but we don't just focus in Texas. It just seems like it's where my pool is from. And so a lot of these guys that we have on our show are Texas based, but we're reaching out. We're branching out, man. And
awesome.
Like I said, we're going to get you guys on as well and have a Pitmaster podcaster roundtable.
Hell yeah.
Absolutely.
I think
awesome.
that'd be great. And
That'd
we
be
can
real
all
fun.
promote each other's shows. So like I said, when I started, there's only one other, and I love to see more and more of these guys out there, and I'm glad we found each other. So
Spreading that barbecue love, you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Well, Rob, man, thank you so much for taking the time. It's been an absolute pleasure. We will definitely do this again because there's so much we didn't cover, but
Yep.
Yeah.
But yeah,
love to do it again, man.
it was a blast, man. So thank you very much.
Absolutely. Appreciate you guys, man.
All right. Hang on 1 second. We'll be right back with you.
Right back, Rob.
Awesome.
Hell yeah.
Great guy.
Great guy.
Awesome. And yeah, like you said, check out the show, So Smokin Gooder Show.
Yep.
Awesome. Like I said, it's very, when Rob and I had talked one night, it was the two shows are very much the same. That whole live aspect, you know, there'll be the ball busting and the laughs and, you know, just the regular banter. It's great show, entertaining, great people in the chat on both the YouTube side and the Facebook side. You know, so jump in. You'll find me in there. You'll find Daddy Dutch for sure.
And honestly, you know, he's been doing it a long time. Since, 2017, he said?
Yeah.
So, as you know, the stats are, I believe, that 94% of podcasts don't make it past episode 5. Is that what Dave said? Something like that?
Episode 3, episode 4.
So
right
the fact
around
that he's been doing it this long is a feather in his cap.
That's it. Junior, what's up? Steve Jimenez.
What's up,
brother? What's happening?
Mad Max, calling you out, brother. Calling you out.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. What's going on? What are we going on next week?
Oh, Barbecue Buddha is in the house.
Oh.
Ray Sheehan
With a new
will
book?
be joining us with a new cookbook.
The Green Egg book?
The Green Egg.
Yeah.
And it's actually, the release date is next Tuesday.
It is.
It'll be available
That
in
is
stores.
the publishing date.
Publishing
or the release
date.
date, they call it. Yeah, same
You know,
same thing.
so Ray will be coming on.
Okay. And
We'll
boy,
be doing a couple giveaways.
we have a great April, too, lined up.
Yeah, we'll be giving away a copy of the book. And we'll also be giving away some of Ray's sauces and rubs. So you're going to want to tune in for that because they're delicious.
Do we give
that
them-
Memphis mop. Oh, come
It's one of
on.
my favorites. This Kansas City sauce is, I mean, it tastes, it's excellent. It's just,
Hell
it's
yeah.
perfect. It's well balanced. Do we give him a sneak peek of what's in April at all? Or do we hold that tight? Hold the cards
We'll hold
tight?
that tight. We'll get into
Okay.
that.
We
next
got some
week.
big things coming in April. That's all I'm saying.
In May.
Chrissy's playing the music. It's like at the Oscars when you're making a speech that's too long,
That's it.
right?
So I got to get out of here and go hop
Until next
on
week,
my
see you later.
private jet with my award. Yeah, right.
Hell yeah. All right,
So-
do it. Let's go.
That's it for this week, folks. We'd like to thank you all for joining us. Catch the audio wherever podcasts are found. Catch the video on Facebook and YouTube. On YouTube, hit that subscribe button and notification bell. You'll have all our episodes right there at your fingertips. On social media, find us at all the links down below.
Yep.
Questions or comments, please send them to pitlifebbqpodcast@gmail.com. And like always, subscribe, like, rate, and
And
review.
review.
Hit that share button.
I know, don't.
Wear something a little darker next week. You look like a highlighter.
I know you love this shirt. It is what it is.
Okay, banana boy.
Until next week,
Keep the smoke rolling.
let's go, baby.
The views and opinions expressed by the hosts, guests, or callers of this program do not necessarily reflect the opinions of the Studio 21 Podcast Café, the United Podcast Network, its partners, or affiliates.